Good morning, and welcome to this lecture of semiconductors and electronics. Myself, Dr. N.D. Mehta, I'm Head and Associate Professor, Department of Electronics, Sri Mathura Das Mohta College of Science. Today, we are going to study about the BJT, that is bipolar junction transistor. Right. In my last lectures, I have almost completed diodes, semiconductors, PN junction diode, intrinsic, extrinsic semiconductor, P-type, N-type material. So I've completed all. Then we have studied around, say, Zener diode, and at the end we have completed LEDs, light emitting diode. Okay, so today we are going to continue with the next unit, that is unit two of semester two RTM in the syllabus, and in which I am expecting to complete the transistor portion of it. Right. So let us begin with that. Now, as you know, the transistor, semiconductors, there are P-type and N-type semiconductors. Actually, they are extrinsic semiconductors, right? So you understand what it means actually. So when one of uh, one of the extrinsic semiconductor is sandwiched between the other type of a semiconductor, then the transistor is formed, right? So like this, on that accord, I will have two types of transistors. So NPN, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is, I guess it is visible. So we are having this N type of a P type of a semiconductor, which is sandwiched between two N-type semiconductors, right? So we can have another form also. So we can have like this. Yeah. So we might have another configuration like we might be sandwiching N type of a semiconductor. So this is N between two P types, right? So yeah, so we can have these two structures. So when one of the extrinsic semiconductor is sandwiched between the two other type of a semiconductor, then that is called as a transistor. Now, why it is called as a transistor, we come to know. Okay, so this is the basic. Now, this is also called as a bipolar junction transistor. Why it is called as bipolar? Because both the charge carriers, those are holes and electrons, take participation in conduction, and therefore it is called as bipolar junction transistor. Means both the charge carriers, those are electrons as well as the holes, take participation in the conduction of this transistor, or the current flows through both of them, and therefore it is called as a bipolar junction transistor. Now, as you are able to see, there are three layers and two junction in between. So we can have three terminals coming out of it. So on that note, we are having three names to these three terminals. The first one is called as the emitter. I will tell you one by one. I guess it is visible. If not, please let me know. So the first one is the emitter. I will try to write a little bit bigger so that it is visible to you. So it is emitter. Then the second one is the base, BASE, and the third one is the collector, COLLECTOR, collector. I guess it is visible. So we are having three terminals or three electrodes coming out of this transistor, and similarly over here also we'll be having three terminals like this, right? So we are having two types of transistors. So now, if I call this as an emitter, and the central one is always base, and the third one, the left one, is called as the collector. Similarly, here we will be having this emitter, this base, and this is the collector, right? So this is a transistor. Transfer of a resistance is called as transistor. Means as we connect it, as we bias it, as we supply the power supply, as we connect the power supply to such type of a device, then the the conduction is due to the change in the resistance of that, and therefore it is called as the transfer of resistance. And how that is being done, that will be seen in the working of that, right? So working of this transistor. Now let us begin with this. Why we call this as an emitter, this as base, and what is the collector, right? So please remember these words. What is the emitter first? So emitter is a portion that is the largest portion, and that is supposed to be the heavily dosed. Sorry, this is the say moderate portion, and it is very very heavily dosed, right? So on both the, I'm telling you a general words of that, right? So the emitter is the moderate region, yeah, and it is always heavily doped. So if it is N-type, then it is doped with high pentavalent impurity. So the ratio of doping is increased, right? And if it is the P-type, then it is being doped with, or it is being used with trivalent impurity. So that maximum number of holes are present over here. Okay, so yeah, so the emitter. So emitter is the moderate region. Moderate means in between the collector and the base, right? With respect to collector and base, the area of the emitter is very is moderate, means in between that, and it is very heavily dosed. The job of the work of this emitter is to uh, to emit the charge carriers, right? To emit the charge carriers into the base, right? These are all general statements. So I'm talking about both type of transistor, right? If I say that it is a NPN transistor, then this emitter of NPN transistor is going to emit electrons, right? Whereas if I talk about the PNP transistor, then it is going to emit the holes into the base. Okay, so I'm telling you the general statement that the emitter, the work of the emitter is to emit the charge carriers into the base, right? Okay, so this was all about the emitter. Second one is the base. So base is the smallest portion of this, the smallest portion of this transistor, right? Where the doping concentration is very very low, right? So it is a very low doping concentration. It is having a very low charges over there. So if it is holes, so there are very low small charges in this p type, right? But they will be having some. So it is very lightly doped, and the region is very small, and it provides the job of the basis. It provides the portion, the area to recombine the emitters, the charges emitted by the emitter, right? So it provides the place to recombine, right? So that is why it is called as a base. And the last one is the collector. So the collector is the largest portion of this transistor. It is having a larger surface area as compared to base and emitter. So it is having the largest surface area, right? And it is moderately low. So remember three lines for each of these three surfaces. So it is moderately low, and the main job of the collector is to collect, as the name suggests, its job is to collect the charge carriers emitted by the emitter into the base, right? So it is going to collect all the charges which are being emitted by the emitter into the base, which are being induced in the emitter, and it is going to be collected by the collector. So these are the construction of a bipolar junction transistor, right? So I've told you how it is being composed. One type of an intrinsic semiconductor is being sandwiched between the other type of a semiconductor. So on that note, we are having two types of transistors. The one is called as NPN transistor, and the other one is called as the PNP transistor. So we are having two types of transistors: NPN transistor and PNP transistor, right? What is that? We are sandwiching one of the extrinsic semiconductor in between the other type of a semiconductor. Okay, so in this, we are sandwiching P type of a semiconductor between two N type, and on the other side we will be having the second one as the PNP transistor, right? So PNP transistor is the N type is being sandwiched between the P type of a semiconductor, right? It is having three terminals. So the name of three terminals are emitter, base, and collector, right? So I have described it. So emitter is very, very heavily doped. It has a moderate region, right, as compared to base and collector. Moderate region means the medium range. Okay. Now it is very, very heavily doped. And the main job of this emitter is to induce the charge carriers into the base. So this is a general statement for both the configurations, NPN and PNP configuration. Okay. The second one is the base. Base is very lightly doped. It is a smallest region of the transistor, and it provides the place for recombination of the charge carriers induced by the emitter into the base, right? And the last one is the collector. The collector is moderately though. It is the largest area as compared to the base and the emitter, and it collects all the charge carriers induced by the emitter into the base. So it is going to collect all the charge. So this was the description of the BJT. We are having two types of BJT. We are having two types of transistors, NPN and ENP transistor. Right now, for the symbols. Now, remember when I taught you the diode, I have told you about the arrow which is there in the diode. So it shows you the flow of direction, right? And according to the diode, the current always flows from the P type to N type. So remember here also we are going to show the symbols of that. So there is a question which is asked every time to draw the symbols of NPN and PNP transistor, and we get confused to draw the arrow. So remember, we have to show the arrow accordingly, and the arrow is always always from the P type to the N type. So this is the best thing that we can remember how we can draw the symbol of that. So let us try to draw. Now, whenever we are drawing, we have to draw like this structure of PNP, like this. So the central one is the base, like this. So this is a base. I guess it is not visible. So it is a base B, and one is the emitter. I will show you, and the other one is the collector. So in the emitter, we have to draw an arrow from emitter. So that is how it has been distinguished by the collector and emitter. So the current is to flow from the P to N, right? So the arrow should be like this. Okay, which means that the current is going to flow from the P type to the N type. Okay, so this is the symbol of the PNP transistor. This is the symbol of a PNP transistor. Remember this. Okay, now similarly, if I need to draw the symbol of NPN transistor, NPN transistor. So what would be the symbol of that NPN transistor? Same like this, just we are going to replace the arrow. So for that, oh, hold it for a second. I guess it is not a complete circle. So for that, let me use this. I guess it is done. So if I need to draw, again, I will have to draw the same sort of configuration like this with base like this. And if I call this as an emitter, this as collector, and this as base like this. So the arrow is going to move from P to N, and therefore the arrow is showing you in the other direction. So this arrow is to be shown like this. So I have drawn here an arrow. I guess it is still not visible. Okay. So I will try to draw a little bigger like this. And I'm calling this as the emitter, this as base. So this is B. Okay. This is the symbol for, and this is the arrow like this. So I guess it is visible now. So this is the arrow which is going to denote that the current is going to flow from P to N. So this is the symbol of NPN transistor, NPN transistor, and this is the symbol for PNP transistor. I guess I don't should not be writing. So this is the NPN transistor, and this is the PNP transistor. So we are having two types of transistor, NPN and PNP transistor, and this is the symbol for both of them as shown over here. So we have to encircle it like this. So this is a transistor, right? So this was all about the construction and the say the terminals of the BJT, bipolar junction transistor. Why it is called as a bipolar junction transistor? Because both the type of charge carriers are going to take part in the conduction. That is the holes in p type and electrons in n type are going to participate in the conduction, and therefore it is called as a bipolar junction transistor. Is it okay? Now, the for the connection. So for connection, we have some protocol that is to be followed. We have some protocols that is to be followed while biasing this transistor, right? So what are those? Oh, sorry. Hmm, hold it, sorry. So what are those protocols that we have to follow? I'm not able to view that. Okay. What are the protocols that are to be followed are emitter base junction. Remember this two lines. So I'm writing this over here. So emitter base junction. Emitter base junction should be always forward bias. Now remember the word forward bias. Okay, these are all general statements because while connecting the transistors, we needed that they should be forward bias. So if you remember, if you have understood how the diode was connected in forward bias, you can simply connect this transistor also. So emitter base junction, that is this emitter and base junction should always be forward bias. And the second one is collector base junction should always be reverse biased. So the collector emitter junction is should be connected in reverse bias condition. So remember the protocol for biasing or for connection of the batteries to the PN junction or BJT bipolar junction transistor. This is that we have to follow. So emitter based junction should always be forward bias and collector based junction should always be reverse bias. So remember this. So now we'll start how it is going to be connected and how it works, right? So give me a moment. I will just rub this and we'll be using both the diagram. So can you tell me which transistor can be used? If you can unmute yourself and let me know which transistor we can use you so that I will explain you one of them and you can try it for the second one, right? So which transistor I should try? And I expect from your side that you should try the another one for biasing. Okay. Anybody? Unmute yourself and let me know. Have you understood up till now? Do you have any problems? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes,
हाँ
sir.
बेटा बोलिए. Yeah, Komal, you can tell me.
Sir,
Which
समझा.
transistor, which transistor should I try for connection? NPN or PNP? Have you understood up till now? Do you have any problem? NPN transistor. Okay, will do. So I expect from your side that you will be trying PNP transistor for connection. So remember the protocol. Emitter base junction should always be forward bias and base emitter junction should be reverse bias. Sorry, emitter base junction should be forward bias and base collector junction should be reverse bias. Now let us know what it actually means. So connection, we have to make connection to that, right? So what I've told you that emitter base junction, this junction should be forward bias. Now remember how we have connected, how we have connected that in the diode. For the diode, we have connected emitter base, the P type and N type. How we have connected it. So for diode, in forward bias, the positive terminal of the battery is connected to P type and the negative terminal of the battery is connected to N type. Same condition, same concept is to be applied over here. So if I just black this, then this is simple diode, NP, right? So PNP diode is over there. So we have to connect accordingly. So if it is P, so a positive terminal of the battery is connected to the P type and negative terminal is connected to N type. So this is negative and this is positive. So I call this battery. Since we are connecting it to emitter and base, I am taking it as VBE, base emitter voltage, right? So this is the emitter base junction should always be forward bias. Okay. And what about the other side? That is base collector junction should always be reverse bias. Hai na? That is what I have told you. So it should be reverse bias or reverse bias. Now how you are going to connect this? For that again, I am going to connect this with a battery like this. Is it visible? Okay. So yeah, let us try. Yes. So now how you are going to connect this? This is P and N again. If I say, if I just mask it, then this is again a PN junction diode. So this PN junction should be reverse bias. Now how we are going to connect this in reverse bias? We need to connect it with the reverse polarity. So negative, positive, and positive. So this should be negative and this should be positive. So and the battery source can be named as VCE, VCB, sorry, collector base voltage, right? So this is how you are going to connect it. This is how you are expected to connect the NPN transistor. Now you can try it on your own. Just we have to reverse the polarity of the battery, and the emitter base junction should be forward bias and base collector junction should be reverse bias. That is to be kept in mind. That's all. It's they are very easy to connect. Okay. Now I have written the battery or the supply name simply as the VE, where V stands for the voltage and B stands for base, E stands for emitter. So this is a battery for the base emitter voltage, right? And the second one is VCB, means voltage across the collector base junction. Now, why we require biasing? Why we require this? That is what we need to study. Okay. Now, what happens? How it works? That is what I need to tell you. So, as I told you, the emitter is very heavily doped, right? What it implies is there are more majority charge carriers in this emitter, right? So in this emitter, if we are taking it as an N type of a semiconductor, then electrons are there. So here we are having negatively charged electrons over there, and they are since heavily doped, which implies that, let us take a number like 100 electrons are present over there. 100. I guess it is not visible. So we'll write a little bit bigger font over there. So I'm expecting that 100 majority charge carriers are over there. Now we are taking it uh, just like a percentage, right? So there are many millions of electrons present in this portion, right? And we are having a junction over here. Right. Now, again, for the P type, I've told you that it is very lightly doped. So just we are taking a number. Let it be say around 1 or 10, or say 5. So we are having only 5 holes over here. Okay, and this is moderately low. So it should be say in between that. So if it is 100, then we will take it this as say 50. Okay, so now as far as majority charge carriers are concerned, just we have put for understanding we have put that this is having 100 electrons. This P type base is having 5 holes, and since it is moderately doped, it is having 50 electrons over there. Right now, we have connected it to the positive terminal. So as soon as we have connected it in forward bias, what happens to this if I mask this and I just consider this diode PN diode? So what happens? This is forward bias, and if you increase this voltage at around say zero point 0.7 volt, the depletion layer will be dissolved and a current IE flows through the emitter and a small current IB. Now remember, these are the simple words, simple say simple say nomenclature that we can apply. So we have to name that. So I am naming this current, since it is flowing from the emitter. I am naming it IE. I stands for current and E stands for the emitter current. So I will name it as IE. So emitter current starts flowing through there, and we are having a small base current flowing through it. Now, since it is having 100 majority charge carriers, means 100 electrons over there. Now, as soon as this becomes forward bias and the depletion layer over here dissolves, so 100 electrons are induced inside this base. So we are having 100 electrons over there, but it is having only 5 holes. So what will happen? Only 5 will recombine with that, and a small current will start flowing through through the base, and we call this as IB, right? So IB current is going to flow from here, say the positive to negative. Sorry. So IB current will flow from here, from this side, and IE will flow from here. Now what happens in the next part? This is reverse bias. So base and collector junction is reverse bias. Means this is kept at positive polarity and the P type is kept at negative polarity. Okay. So it has been combined over here. So there are only 5 holes. So 5 holes are being recombined and 95 electrons which are being induced over here, means there were 100, 5 was recombined, 95 were present over there. So 95 electrons are present over here now, which are excess of electrons, which are not having any holes, further holes for recombination. So what happens in that case? Since it is connected to the positive polarity, the collector is connected to positive polarity, these electrons get attracted, gets induced into the collector, and the collector collects this 95 electrons, and again a current flows through the collector. We call it as the IC, right? So IC flows through the collector, and both the current are going to flow through the emitter. And as far as the Kirchhoff's current laws are concerned, if you are able to see over here, the IB is moving inside, IC is also moving inside, only IE is coming out of this. So we can have the Kirchhoff's current law that current entering the junction should be equal to current leaving the junction, and we can say that a formula, that is IE must be equal to IC plus IB. Okay, so this is the basic formula. IE is equal to IB plus IC, or IC plus IB, right? So see, IB current through base is flowing through base, and current through collector is flowing through this, and the total current which is supposed to go is flowing through IE, right? So this is how the transistor works, right? So I've just told you. So when we are passing through this, only 5 holes are being recombined. So minimum current is over there, but maximum current flows through the collector. So IE is equal to IC plus IB, but a very small current is flowing through IB. Therefore, we can say that IB is very small. Just for explanation, I'm telling you that IB is very small, so that it can be neglected, and therefore IE can be taken as approximately equal to IC. So remember this for today. So we are having this as a BJT, and I guess very less time is left. If you have any questions, you can ask me right now. So I've told you about the bipolar junction transistor, the configuration, the emitter, base, and collector, their description, and the connection of the transistor, right? On that note, we are having 3 terminals. So remember this is what we are going to study in tomorrow's class. We are having 3 terminals. For input, we require 2 terminals. For output, we require 2 terminals. So what we do, we make common one of the terminals in between that. So we have 3 configuration on that note: common base, common emitter, and common collector. That is what we are going to study in the next class. Up till now, if you have any questions, you can ask me on this. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining. If you have no questions, or if you have any questions, just remember this. And if you have any questions, you can ask me tomorrow also, right? So do you have any questions? And try this for the PNP transistor. Please at home, try to configure it, try to bias that at your home. Okay. So thank you very much for joining. Just hold for a moment if I could